Like a lot of entrepreneurs, Viewpoints.com CEO Matt Moog is staring into what could be a deep, dark recession, wondering what it holds for his young company.
I don't know any entrepreneur who isn't scared out of their mind about sort of what's going to unfold in the economy. So I'm hyper aware of the fact that this is not just some isolated incident and we're immune to it. Just reading the news, it looks like it's going to be a severe and long downturn. It's one where you can't assume that there's just going to be this great growth.
But unlike a lot of entrepreneurs, Matt Moog has seen this before. At the start of the last recession in 2001, he was named CEO of CoolSavings, the Chicago-based online marketing service that was reeling in the wake of the dot-com bust. One of Moog's first acts as CEO was to lay off 200 of his 350 employees. But by holding down costs and pushing new revenue streams, Moog turned CoolSavings profitable in a year. By the time he left the company in 2006, sales were close to $70 million, up from just $22 million the year he took over. Following the turnaround, Moog immediately set about starting a new venture, Viewpoints.com. He quickly raised $5 million from A-list Chicago investors, including J.B. Pritzker and Joe Mansueto, then went to work building a website for consumer reviews of products, services, and businesses, from mattresses to physicians to restaurants. In contrast to review sites like Yelp.com, Viewpoints would focus on hardcore reviewers, letting the internet's most compulsive critics create profiles of themselves that would help web surfers find opinions from like-minded consumers. The business is built around those web surfers, who are attractive to advertisers because they're usually researching a product they want to buy. Viewpoints has struck ad deals with consumer products giants like Procter & Gamble, Panasonic, and Orbitz.
Having spent 10 years at CoolSavings and having generated hundreds of millions of leads for marketers and always used demographic information to target those, what became very clear to me was that you could target demographically all day long, but if you just bought a car seat and I haven't bought one, but I'm looking for one, even though we might be the same gender and the same age. The fact is I'm going to be a lot more interested in the car seat than you are. Right? So that's the whole idea behind build a site that reaches people who are actively looking to make a purchase.
In the 2 years since Viewpoints launched, it has attracted more than 150,000 registered reviewers, some of whom have written more than 1,000 reviews. Moog says site traffic has grown steadily, topping 1 million unique visits in October. That same month, the company also reached a much bigger milestone. It turned a profit. Moog won't disclose financials, but in addition to the advertising revenue, he says Viewpoints has built a growing business in licensing its online review technology to companies trying to incorporate user-generated content on their own sites. Sears launched Viewpoints-powered product reviews in June. Even as his business breaks into the black, however, Moog is bracing for the recession's impact. But Moog believes his company can weather an economic storm. Drawing on the lessons he learned in the last slowdown, he's positioned Viewpoints to not only survive, but, he believes, to keep growing. After launching the company with 6 employees 2 years ago, he's now up to 12. But he still hasn't burned through the $5 million he started with. In boom times, holding the line on costs may mean turning away explosive growth in favor of steady but slower growth, which is easier to sustain when booms go bust.
The guys on the West Coast, generally their process was raise $5 million, hire a team of 20 to 30 people, and then go as quickly as possible, get something out in the market, and then go out and raise another 15 million. And then go out and hire another 20 people. So suddenly you're up to 50 people. And our approach was, let's raise 5 million and really run the business so that we can get to profitability with that capital.
Moog is also a strong believer in open, honest, and frequent communication with his staff. Every month he sends employees the same P&L update that he prepares for investors and board members. It includes full details of Viewpoint's financial condition. When tough times hit, he says it's important for the boss to make sure everybody knows what challenges the company is facing.
You don't hunker down in the bunker and wait for it to pass and hope the employees don't notice, because they're all talking about it, they all are speculating about it, and if there's a vacuum of information from the top, and morale will pay a price, people will not be focused, and they'll wonder what's going on.
Finally, Moog says in a down economy, it's more important than ever for a growing business to focus, focus, focus. It's a lesson Moog learned from Landmark Communications, the media company that bought CoolSavings in 2005.
They wanted to know how this strategy was going to, as a company, set you apart, and it was going to be sustainable, and it would lead to better margins and a better business as a result.
Staying focused, Moog believes Viewpoints can double or maybe triple its revenues in the next year, even as it stares down a looming recession.